Hold down, man. Suitcase this, my cell phone and my charger. Don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of KFROG TV, man. You already know, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see it first. Alright, so as y'all seen, Volume 3 had just dropped. If you ain't go see that, go ahead and check it out. Now, for the most part, I appreciate all the new supporters. You know, everybody that's been, support my movement from day one and everything like that. Don't forget, I still got all these bracelets right here that I'm waiting to ship out as soon as this pandemic dies down. But today I want to break it down to y'all a little bit on something that I ain't never seen no other channel speak on, and at least it's I'm speaking on Florida channels. And what that is the Pride program. For those that don't know what Pride program is it's actually a job you get in prison that they have at certain camps. And it's like you get paid while working. Everyone else in prison, they don't get paid. Now, you only get like $50, every month or something like that. But it goes into your account. You actually get paid to work. And they have a Pride dorm, They had this at Calhoun while I was there. So that's what made me want to do the video on this. And, if y'all want to look up on it or whatever, you just type in, Pride Company, DOC, and it'll come up. It's supposed to be a non-profit organization, but it's really, they have inmates, doing the job for them. Any other job you do in prison, whether it's the kitchen or, an orderly or outside grounds cutting grass, or DOT, which is Department of Transportation, anything like that, you don't get paid. Now, the Pride program's a little bit different. When you first go to prison and you go through a reception center, the two things they're going to ask you: do you want to sign up for reentry, and would you like to sign up for Pride? Me, I put yeah, because I didn't know what Pride was and I didn't know what reentry was. Now, I never got the chance to work with Pride, but it just blows my mind the things that they actually have, like what the job titles are as far as Pride. Now, I'm just speaking off the camp I was at alone, what they did, certain jobs they had. There's probably a handful of different things that they do. I was actually looking online, and it says it's actually connected with like 120 something different companies, but they have inmates doing it all from behind the wall in prison. So I'm going to speak on the couple things that I know for a fact that they do, which to me, it was kind of cool, at one point, and then some of it just blew my mind. Now, for DOT and people that work outside the gate, stuff like that, like I said, there is no income. You're working for free every single day in prison, but Pride, you get paid. You could be working the citrus squad or whatever, and you got to sit there and you got to fill barrels up with oranges. They might have miles of orange groves, and then the ones all on the left side, this barrel right here is for vitamins. So what oranges going there are going towards vitamins. The ones in the middle, this is all drinks. This barrel in the middle is for all oranges that are, going to be put towards drinks, things that you consume and stuff like that. Then the ones over here on the right are going to be towards chemicals, like smell goods, like Clorox and all that. So, like, they break it down to where, you fill barrels up and stuff like that. Now, that's the citrus squad, you feel me? And they have them at some camps and stuff like that. While I was at Charlotte, they have a work camp in Fort Myers, and that camp there, people would go work the citrus squad and oranges for days, but you get tired of stuff like that. You don't get paid for like the weed eating and all that. Like, people will go and they make you put boots on that go almost all the way up to your knees, and have you walking in water that goes up almost to your knees. There'd be gators, snakes, and you got a weed eater, and you're just cutting these roads. You're just cutting them and cutting them. You might go 5 miles on foot today with a weed eater from here to here, and then tomorrow you pick back up from here and go 5 more miles. It feels like you're doing it for nothing. Really, it's discipline. And I'm speaking on the things you don't get paid for right now. Like just a bunch of different shit, They might make you go to a park and you got to clean up a park, go clean their porta potties, go clean out a porta potty, stuff like that. All these different things, like hard ass work where people will actually go to confinement and catch a refusing the work DR instead of going and doing it. You would think people want to leave the compound to be out of prison to go work DOT and to go work outside the gate. You know, there is some people that want to because it makes your time go by when you're working. You know, it don't feel like dead time. It always goes by faster when you're doing something. But you have so many people that actually go to confinement for refusing to work, you know, because it's slavery. It's free slavery. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, I had a homeboy of mine, you feel me, literally, you know, like, call the chaplain and say that his grandma in a different state passed away, you know, and stuff like that. And she was like, from our dorm, called the chaplain and was like, yeah, oh, I'm such and such's uncle. I'm calling on about my nephew. Yeah, our great grandmother passed away. This and that, to the chaplain off of a jet. Called the chaplain and was saying this. And then the chaplain was like, okay, well, where was your grandmother from? Where did she die? And then he was like, oh yeah, you know, my nephew was real close to her, you know, and or whatever, and he doesn't know yet, but can y'all please let him know that she passed away, and then give his own name as the, you know, as the nephew. You know, she was from a foreign country and all this and all that. So that way, once a death or something serious happens in the family, they will remove your gate pass to where you can't go outside the gate. So now you're in the dorm all day and you ain't got to go to work because people, they force you to go to work. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like you could just miss work, you know? So I literally had someone do that while we was at Charlotte. He literally did it on my jack, you know, and wanted to call and got his gate pass removed so he didn't have to go outside the gate. You see what I'm saying? So, like, people don't want to go outside the gate because it's just free slavery, you know. Don't get me wrong, people will drive by, throw packs of cigarettes, you know, cans of dip, or whatever it is they make, you know. Shout out to the people that do shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And that's where the majority of the mules come from, you know, the mules that, you know, do their thing or whatever, you know. But I'm going to speak on some of the things that Pride does, the Pride program. One of the jobs that blew my mind that they did was, and to me it was kind of cool, like I never knew this, you know, it just blew my mind. But it was, I remember when I was a kid, you know, you go in any Walmart, any store, even still to this day, they still have them in some stores, or any Winn-Dixie, Publix, grocery store, any arcade or anything. They always had that machine of stickers where you put the quarters in it, and when you push it in, you pull it out, and it's got the piece of cardboard, and when you open it, there's stickers, right? Now, the Pride at Calhoun prints those stickers and ships them. To me, I thought that was crazy. Like, and it was the football teams, the football teams. So a lot of people at Calhoun, you know, including myself, would have the tattoo man, you know, etch on he would draw and he would tattoo your clear cup, because you could buy a clear cup, which is a tumbler. We call them tumblers. You can buy a tumbler and you know, they can tattoo it. It's called etching. They etch it in there. And for like $2, they'd put your football team on your cup. You know, and they'd even do it with color. Like, your cup would be real, you know, decked out or whatever and everything like that. Some officers would confiscate it, some don't, you know, stuff like that. But it was actually the football team stickers. Or you would see people that actually just have a couple of their football team stickers. And now this is going from, like, people who, like, you know, may never see daylight again. Some of them ain't gonna see daylight again. And all they focus on to get through their time is football season. Because football season, you know, makes the time go by. It's always when it's sports season, the time goes by faster. So that's when everybody will come sit down in front of the TV with their shirt, and they'll have their logo of their team on their shirt, done been drawn on there and everything. Or they'll have their cup in their hand with the sticker on there, or their radio with the sticker on the back and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool that they make those stickers, you know. To me, that blew my mind. Okay, another thing that blew my mind is, now this right here blew my mind to where, like, it's just crazy to me, because everyone knows, like, for instance, you get caught speeding, or you get caught, running a red light. When you run a red light, you know, back in the day, the police would pull you over and give you a ticket, you know. That was their job. You run a red light, the police see you, they pull you over to give you a ticket. Well, nowadays, you know, everywhere you go, you know, not every light, but a lot of them, especially down here now, they have the cameras on the red light. So when you run the red light, it takes a picture of your tag, you know, and then they mail it to you in the mail, your ticket, you know. And I've actually got them 2 times, and there ain't no fighting those ones, like how you take it to the ticket clinic and they go to court for you and you fight it and everything like that. I had 11 tickets at one time, and one of them was from running a red light, and they took a picture of my tag, and that's the one I didn't beat. Out of all the 11, 10 of them got disposed and all that stuff, but the one was running the red light, and it's like $200-300. You got to pay top dollar and all that. Well, the Pride program at Calhoun, when I was there, they actually had the inmates were the ones that mail you your ticket in the mail. So to me, that kind of threw me. You know, I had a bunkie, an old man that came to confinement. I was in AC, administrative confinement, and I was pending my DR for possession of cell phone. He was pending his DR, but he got taken into jail from Pride. So, you know, I got the rundown about Pride a little bit. And he was telling me, yeah, man, you know, we literally got to go online and look at these videos and then look up the person's information and then mail them their ticket in the mail. You know, to me, I was like, damn. So it's like they put the cameras up now so police ain't got to do their job that much and catch you running a red light. And then now they got inmates being the ones that mail you your ticket. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure they have like offices and stuff that mail them also. But I know for a fact that inmates also work that job to where they're the ones that mail you your ticket. To me, that just blew my mind, because it's like, damn, they literally just they're making the inmates mail the ticket instead of the police, you know, or the state or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? So that right there was kind of, you know, like, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, to know that shit. So like, and I had 2 of them sent to me in the mail before, you know. But another thing that they were doing while I was there is telemarketing. Now, for people that don't know about the telemarketing, you know, they'll call you and try to sell you something, and they'll talk about the brochure over the phone and stuff like that. They do that too, and you won't even know it's an inmate behind the phone, because that's the reason the old man was in confinement with me, you know. And I'm going to tell you the reason he came to confinement. He came to confinement because a buddy and him that was both in Pride, you know, they were sitting at their individual desks, and they made a bet who's gonna sell more today. So they made a bet, you know, they're on there hanging out, and then all of a sudden, like, when he's on the phone, he calls the person, this and that. You know, he's like, oh, this is such and such, calling from company such and such, and you know, I'd like for you to call me back if you could, this and that, blase squaze. He was leaving a little voicemail, and his homeboy was laughing at him because he didn't get the person on the phone. And then when he hung the phone up, and then when he hung the phone up, he was being sarcastic, and he was like, oh, maybe next time you know how to answer the phone, bitch, and this and that, you know, like that. And everyone was laughing and shit like that. Believe it or not, when he hung that phone up, it didn't hang up. It just like, he hung it up, but it was like, it didn't completely hang up. So that was on the person's voicemail. So the captain, next thing you know, they call him into the office inside the Pride building, which is like its own building on the compound where only Pride workers go. And Pride workers have their own dorm. Like, they're not mixed in the compound with everybody. That would literally be called the Pride dorm. You know, and they get chow first, rec first, canteen first. They get all the blessings and everything because they are legit working. And it's a non-profit organization if you look it up, but they pay inmates like $50 a month in their account. You know, if you ain't got no income, that $50 is a blessing, you know. Shit, everyone else in here is working for free, you know. So that's, you know, one thing, you feel me, that is like, that's the good outcome for it. Anybody would rather make $50 for working for the officers, you know, as a job, working in prison, than not getting paid at all, you know what I'm saying? So when the captain came in there and they called him in there, they showed him the recording. The lady called and wanted to speak to the manager of the telemarketing thing, and it was actually him. And the officer was like, okay, I'll speak with my employee right now, and this and that, this and that. I'm gonna fire him and all this and everything. Made it sound like it was a legit job. And then when they called him in there, they played it for him. And the way he broke it down and read me his DR, like, he was like, man, look, when his DR finally came, he was like, see, look, Frog. And then he was, it said that they heard the whole thing. The phone hung up, and you heard it going like if it was to hang up, a cord phone, and it didn't hang up. And he's like, oh, maybe you answer the phone next time, bitch, or something like that. So she heard all that. You know what I'm saying? And he actually got in trouble for that, and the white shirt and them had to send him to confinement. You know, and technically he didn't do nothing wrong. You know, if he would have hung up and then said that out loud, the officers and the white shirt, none of them would have said shit. You know what I'm saying? They all would have just been like, try again when they got the next one. You know, it was never none. But, you know, he was trying to, you know, show out in front of his friend, like, maybe answer phone next time, bitch. And hung up. And then he's like, yeah, man, they played it right there in front of me and everything, man, on my DR court. I said, yeah. He's like, yeah, I ain't never been to confinement. He had like 6 years to do whatever. He's been in there like 5 and some change. He was an older white dude. He ain't never been in trouble, never been to confinement, no nothing. He's like, man, it just blows my mind. Here I, you know, I slave for these people, man. And I've been in the Pride program for like 5 years straight. And he's like, they know I didn't mean no harm by that. You know, like, and everything like that. You know, they took care of him while he was in confinement. Like, the officers, they'd give him extra trays and stuff, because, you know, but they still did take him to confinement. He said he don't even want to be part of Pride when he gets out. You know, when I get out of confinement, I ain't even going to Pride. I ain't even going to Pride. And that's what he was saying, you know what I'm saying? So, he got out of confinement. I seen him later on, and then he was in a regular dorm. But since he was in a regular, you know, like a regular dorm, he didn't even stay there a day. He went straight back to Pride, signed up for Pride. He had to move him in there and everything, got back at Pride, because it's totally different in different dorms, and it's going to be the Pride dorm. You see what I'm saying? That's where, like, those are like golden childs. They get paid. You see what I'm saying? But, so he just felt betrayed, but he's just telling me that. You know, but then as soon as he hit that pound, he was out there with them lion, tigers, and bears. You know, he got his ass moved, you feel me, back into the Pride dorm, and he went back to working with Pride. Also, another thing that they do is, like, for instance, this is where I be writing my notes and stuff, is these spirals, these binders, they actually, they put these springs into the packets of the binder. Like, they literally have like piles of these, of the spring, and they literally got this machine they hook it all up to, and they put the packets in there. So, like, you know, you can ask them, you know, people will sell the journals, or, you know, they get shipped somewhere else, but you can buy them off the people that work in Pride, you know, or they'll just give you one, you know, it just depends, you feel me? The springs are plastic. They're not like the metal ones, like back in the day when you'd have a regular little notepad and has the metal spiral spring in it. It's not like that. These ones are plastic, and that's basically, you know, that's what their jobs consist of, you know, stuff like that. Now, this is just the camp I was at alone, those couple things that I just broke down to you. You see what I'm saying? So they send the tickets in the mail. They make the logo football team stickers that are sold in the little vending machines, for the ones where you stick the quarters in it and you push it in and pull it out. And it's the cardboard from back in the day, like at skating rings and stuff. They do the binders like that as well. They do telemarketing. And I've also heard at a couple other camps, they do soaps and shampoos also. Like, they literally like make the chemical, they put the soaps and shampoos together and stuff like that, or vitamins. And it has a lot to do with the citrus that they get, and have people out there grabbing oranges and picking oranges and shit like that as well, you know. Supposedly you'll fill a whole barrel up with oranges or whatever at certain times, like when it's seasonal or something, and you'll get like $30 a barrel, if I'm not mistaken, you know. But it wasn't like that where I was at. They had a citrus squad, and it was like free. They was there, you know. That was their duty, to go out there and do the citrus squad. Now, I'm pretty sure in the Panhandle by Calhoun, there might be things where you pick corn or stuff like that. You never know what, because when I was at Calhoun, they had cornfields, and there used to be deers running through the cornfields and stuff over there. You know, at Charlotte, the garden alone was on the compound when I first got there. But then after that, they just started getting everything donated to them. They started bringing in trailers full of cabbage and trailers full of carrots and stuff like that. But when I first got there, they had a garden, and they used to have people work in the garden. You know, like my bunkie when I first got there. Shout out to Hit, my homeboy Hitman, him. When I first got there, he was from Jacksonville. When I first got there, I was in E-Dorm, which is a butterfly wing. I wasn't in open bay. I was in 2-man cells. And he worked out not outside the gate, but he worked in the garden, which was outside all day. And he'd bring back to our room, he'd bring kale. He'd bring kale, he'd bring cucumbers, he'd bring like green tomatoes. Like we would eat green tomatoes like an apple, you know, just to feel better, nutritions, I guess, or whatever. All types of different things, peppers, like different shit, because it was all grown there. And he would bring a bomb back to the, you know what I'm saying, every patty day or hot dog day, I was bringing some kale. I'd wash the kale off of my sink and wrap it in a napkin, put it in my pocket, walk to the chow hall, take it out and eat it on there like a real hamburger and shit like that. And people don't know what kale is. It's like a spicy lettuce. You know, it's like lettuce, but it's spicy. You know, shit like that. So, but then after a while, all that shit dried out, and then they got rid of the garden that was on Charlotte's grounds. And then they just started having big trailers coming in, like every time when there was a shipment to come in. I'm talking about a dead-ass trailer, and they got 3 inmates pulling it and 2 inmates pushing it. And it's just filled with stacks of cabbage, stacks of carrots, you know, shit like that. And then they take everything off, and then they put the swill trash cans on there. The swill trash cans is where everything that comes inside the meal flap after you eat breakfast, when you go to throw your tray in the dish room, all the food gets banged out into a trash can before they bring the trays through the, you know, before they have it washed through the dish room. They take it and they bang all the food out, and then they store those in the back room out back, 4, 5, 6 different trash cans that stink of just all muck and everything added up. And then they put those on the same trailer and have inmates, 3 of them pulling it, 2 of them pushing it towards this back gate. And then that gets taken down the street to the local pigs. For anyone that has pigs down the street or in that neighborhood, they get free swill. Those are swill, you know, trash cans. But anyways, for the most part, I just wanted to break it down to y'all about, you know, the Pride program. You know, if you know, knock on wood, no one goes to prison. But you know, it's kind of like a heads up. If you go to any reception center, they're gonna ask you when you first get there, would you like to sign up for Pride? Would you like to sign up for reentry? You know, you can make money by working with Pride. You see what I'm saying? So if you put, yeah, you could land at a camp where they do Pride, and then if you qualify, you can actually be part of it, and you can get paid, so you're not working for them for free. So that's what that is. Now, I'll break it down for y'all a little bit on reentry. Reentry is like, it's like, you know, that's where they send you, you know, to rehabilitate yourself. Now, normally, if you got under 28 months, I believe, they will send you to the reentry closest to your destination of housing, where you live. So if you get sent way up to the Panhandle and you're from down south, or if you're from the Panhandle and get sent way down south, within 28 months or whatever, if you had signed up for reentry when you first came to prison, you're already put on the list. When their bed opens up and you're within that range to where you're about to go home, you know, when you're in that like 2-year range around that area, they will tell you to pack it up, you're being transferred, and they will transfer you to a reentry. And when you go there, you know, they got better programs to set you up, you know, so when you come home from prison, you know, you're not just fresh out, you just jumped out, you're dead ass in the water. No, instead they kind of guide you, and they get you on the right path with your social, your ID, anything you got going on, like your paperwork. They can get everything for you need that you don't have. And then they'll like set you up with jobs and have a bunch of jobs set up for you, you know, have a career ready for you and everything. So if you come out, or if you ain't got no one on the streets to come home to, they'll have you set up, you know, with like a house to go to, like a halfway house or whatever it's called, and stuff like that. Like, you know, so it's for your own good to go to reentry. Me personally, I was on the list, and then I denied it. Like me, I was on the list for reentry because I didn't know what it was. And then one of these times when I went and see my classification officer at Charlotte, you know, I was sitting there talking or whatever to my classification officer. You know, they do these little couple month checkups with you, and they see you again, talk to you again. And then they said that I was pending transfer for reentry. They were going to send me from Charlotte to either Everglades or Sago Palm. And me, I'm like, what? And they were like, yeah, you're pending transfer, this and this and that. I said, nah, I want to get taken off that list because I had everything going on at Charlotte. And it would have hurt my pockets and everything. I was like, nah, I'll just stay. And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, really? I said, yeah. He's like, you want to stay over here? Because it's violent and people were getting hurt every day over there. But, you know, what they don't know won't hurt them, you feel me? I had a lot of things going on, you feel me? So I couldn't. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go to reentry, man. I want to take my, he's like, all right, you sure? Nah, take your name off the list. I said, yeah, I want my name off the list. So I got taken off the reentry list. Now, a lot of people like it, you know, it gets you closer to home. Closer to home makes it easier for you to get visos from people that you love or, you know, people on the streets that are supporting you. You know, it's kind of hard for your family to drive that far away to come see you. You know, you never know. Everybody's situation is different. So reentry does help a lot of people, you know, but it's totally different though. Because, for instance, at Charlotte, we had a life path dorm. And this is for people that, you know, that are lifers and they want to sign up for life path. And when you walk in their dorm, they had one dorm, like it was like a butterfly building. So it had 4 quads. And all the dorms inside are all like painted and decorated. Like you'll see, like kind of like in the visitation park, the VP. When you're in the VP, you see all the pictures, all the Spider-Man, Dora the Explorer, all different little kid stuff. So when your kids come and see you, can take pictures in front of all the kid stuff, you know. But inside Life Path, it was like that also. It looked like the jungle, all painted, and going over someone's door. There's a lion on top of a tree and a monkey swinging from the city. Like it was all decorated and all, you know, to look nice because that was the Life Path program. Well, at reentry, some dorms are like that also. You see what I'm saying? And they let you get away with a lot more stuff at reentry because, you know, it's just you're about to go home. Everybody there is more rehabilitated. You know what I'm saying? So, but I heard actually at one reentry, it does go down that, you know, like you can get away with anything. There wasn't no stabbings or nothing, but it's just you can get away with anything. You can curse at officers and everything. And then after like your 3rd time, then okay, you're going to confinement. But they will not take you to confinement. They come around for count. You didn't have to be from under your blanket waiting up for count. You didn't, you know, everything. They'll bring you your chow. Like I heard all types of, you know, different crazy shit, you know, like to where like they had it made. They even had ice cream parties. You know, they even had it at this one reentry I heard where the dorm that stays out of trouble has the most points at the end of the week. Not from staying out of trouble, but like the most points of cleanness or doing what they got to do, having integrity and dignity and waking up. They leave it up to you to wake up and be where you're supposed to be at. They don't wake you up and make you go to work, you know, like they would at a regular camp. And I heard whoever has the most points at the end of the week, they have ice cream parties. They get to watch on flat screens and eat ice cream and shit. Now, this is in prison and re-entries. You see what I'm saying? Not all re-entries, though. So anyone that's been to re-entry, I'm not speaking on probably where you've been at. You feel me? I know people like to mix words like I'm saying all re-entries. No, I'm just saying certain re-entries this does happen at. So, but for the most part, that's what it is, you know? So it's like if you don't want to be in prison no more, and you got 3 years left and you're about to be going to reentry, you'll be happy that you're going to reentry. It might suck when you first get there and you got to adjust because now it's different, but it's for your own good, you know. Me, I could have went to reentry like I said, but I decided not to. I had a lot going on, and I was just making so much money that I didn't want to. You know, I was like, nah, I'll just, you know, I'm here. I got everything going right now. You know what I'm saying? At that specific time, I had 7 phones that were going to be sold for $650 a piece. That specific time, like, oh, hell no, I can't be transferred right now. You see what I'm saying? So you do the math. You feel me? But, yeah, that's mostly it about the pride and the reentry. I just wanted people to know about that, you know, because that is something when you get to the reception center, they're going to ask you, would you like to sign up for pride? You know, it's like a check, like they ask you questions when you first get there. You know, but for the most part, man, you already know. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Y'all go check out that volume 3 if you ain't seen it yet, and you already know. Till next time, it's KFROG.